Cosmetology Written Study Guide Number 1, Properties of Hair and Scalp. Please read your textbook for more information on each subject. Information is not limited to the one shown in this video. Be sure to look for your state's reference list for your written examination. Structures of the hair root. The 5 main structures of the hair root include the hair follicle, hair bulb, derma papilla, erector pili muscle, and sebaceous glands. Number 1. Hair follicle, a tube-like depression or pocket in the skin or scalp that contains the hair root. Number 2. Hair bulb is the lowest area or part of the hair strand. It is thickened, club-shaped structure that forms the lower part of the hair root. Number 3. Derma papilla are small cone-shaped elevation located at the base of the hair follicle that fits into the hair bulb. It contains the blood and nerve supply that provides the nutrients needed for growth. Number 4. Erector pili muscle, a minute involuntary muscle fibers in the skin inserted in the base of the hair follicle. Remember that fear or cold causes them to contract, which makes the hair stand straight up, resulting in what we know as goosebumps. Number 5. Sebaceous glands are the oil glands of the skin and are connected to the hair follicles. The sebaceous glands secrete an oily substance called sebum, which is oil, which lubricates the hair and skin. Structures of the hair shaft. The 3 main layers of the hair shaft are the hair cuticle, cortex, and medulla. Number 1. Hair cuticle. The hair cuticle is the outermost layer of the hair. It consists of a single overlapping layer of transparent, scale-like cells that overlap like shingles on a roof. The cuticle layer provides a barrier that protects the inner structure of the hair as it lies tightly against the cortex. It is responsible for creating that shine, smooth, silky feel of healthy hair. Number 2. Cortex. The cortex is the middle layer of the hair. It is a fibrous protein core formed by elongated cells containing melanin pigment. Number 3. Medulla. The medulla is the innermost layer. It is composed of round cells. Very fine and naturally blonde hair may not even have a medulla. Thick, coarse hair and beard hair always contains a medulla. Hair is approximately 90% protein. The protein is made up of long chains of amino acids, which in turn are made up of elements. The major elements that make up human hair are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur, and they're often referred to as cons elements. These 5 elements are also found in skin and nails. Number 1. Keratinization. Hair is composed of protein that grows from cells originating within the hair follicle. This is where the hair begins. As soon as these living cells form, they begin their journey upward through the hair follicle. They mature in a process called keratinization. Number 2. Keratin. As these newly formed cells mature, they fill up with a fibrous protein called keratin. As they have filled with keratin, the cells move upward, they lose their nucleus, and die. Number 3. Amino acids. Proteins are made of long chains of amino acids, units that join together end to end like beads. Peptide bonds is the strong chemical bond that joins amino acids, also known as end bonds. Polypeptide chain is a long chain of amino acids linked by peptide bonds. Proteins are long, coiled, complex polypeptides made of amino acids. The spiral shape of a coiled protein is called a helix, which is created when polypeptide chains intertwine with each other. Side bonds of the cortex. The cortex is made up of millions of polypeptide chains. Polypeptide chains are cross-linked like the rungs on a ladder by three different types of side bonds that link the polypeptide chains together and are responsible for the extreme strength and elasticity of human hair. Number 1, hydrogen bond. A hydrogen bond is a weak physical cross-link side bond that is easily broken by water or heat. They are weak individually, but because they are so many, they account for about 1/3 of the hair strength. Number 2, salt bond. A salt bond is another weak, temporary cross-link that can be broken by changes in a pH. They're easily broken by strong alkaline or acidic solutions and account for 1/3 of the hair's overall strength. Number 3, disulfide bonds. A disulfide bond is a strong chemical side bond that joins the sulfur atoms of two neighboring cysteine amino acids to create cysteine. The cysteine joins together two polypeptide strands. Although there are far fewer disulfide bonds than hydrogen or salt bonds, disulfide bonds are so much stronger that they can also account for about 1/3 of the hair's overall strength. Disulfide bonds are not broken by water, they're broken by permanent waves in chemical hair relaxers that alter the shape of the hair. Lanthionine bonds are created when hydroxide relaxers break and then convert disulfide bonds when the relaxer is rinsed from the hair. Hair pigment. All natural hair color is the result of pigment located within the cortex. Melanin are tiny grains of pigment in the cortex that give natural color to the hair. We have eomelanin provides dark brown and black color to hair. Pheomelanin provides natural hair colors from red and ginger to yellow blonde tones. Natural hair color in a person's hair is due to the presence of the mixture of these pigments. Gray hair contains only a few scattered melanin granules, and the white hair does not contain any melanin. Wave pattern refers to the shape of the hair strand. It is described as straight, wavy, curly, or extremely curly. Natural wave patterns are the result of genetics. There is straight, wavy, curly, and extremely curly hair. The wave pattern may also vary from strand to strand. Also remember that curly hair is oval in shape. The truth about hair growth. Bella's hair, also known as lanugo, is short, fine, downy, unpigmented hair covering most of the body except the palms and soles of the feet. Terminal hair is long, thick, pigmented hair found on the scalp, legs, arms. It is coarser than Bella's hair, and with the exception of gray hair. It is pigmented and it usually has a medulla. Growth cycles of hair. Each complete cycle has 3 phases that are repeated over and over again. The anagen phase is the growing phase. Then we have the catagen phase. It is the transition phase that ends the growth phase and lasts only 1 to 2 weeks. The follicle canal shrinks and detaches from the dermal papilla. Then we have the telogen phase. It is the resting phase. After catagen, the follicle begins a 3 to 6 month phase of resting. Recognize disorders of the hair. Candidase is the technical term for gray hair caused by loss of natural pigment in the hair. Ringed hair. characterized by alternating bands of gray and pigmented hair throughout the length of the hair strand. Hypertrichosis, characterized by the growth of terminal hair in areas of the body that normally grows vellus hair. Trichoptilosis is split hair ends, also known as split ends. Tritorhexis nodosa is knotted hair, dry, brittle condition including formation of nodular swelling along the hair shaft. The hair breaks very easily. Monilextrix, beaded hair, the hair tends to break between the beads or nodes. Types of abnormal hair loss. Androgenic alopecia is a genetic condition that can affect both men and women. Men with this condition, called male pattern baldness, can begin suffering hair loss as early as their teens or early as their 20s. It is characterized by a receding hairline and gradual disappearance of hair from the crown and frontal scalp. Then we have alopecia areata. It is an autoimmune disorder that causes the affected hair follicles to be mistakenly attacked by a person's own immune system. White blood cells stop the hair growth during the anagen phase. Postpartum alopecia. It is temporary hair loss at conclusion of pregnancy. The growth usually returns to normal within 1 year after baby is delivered. Recognized disorders of the scalp. Dandruff. Pityriasis is a technical term for dandruff, characterized by excessive production and accumulation of skin cells. Pityriasis capitis simplex is classic dandruff. Pityriasis steatoides is a more severe case of dandruff. Fungal infections. Tinea is a technical term for ringworm, itching, scales, and sometimes painful circular lesions. Tinea capitis is ringworm of the scalp. Red papules or spots at the opening of the hair follicles cause hair to break. Tinea favosa, characterized by dry, sulfur yellow, cup-like crust on the scalp called scutula. Parasitic infections. Scabies, a highly contagious skin disease caused by a parasitic called mite that burrows under the skin. Pediculosis capitis, it is a contagious condition caused by head lice infesting the hair and scalp. Bacterial infections. We have furuncle. It is a technical term for a boil, an acute localized bacterial infection of the hair follicle that produces constant pain. Carbuncle. It is an inflammation of the subcutaneous tissue caused by staphylococci. Folliculitis is an infection of the hair follicle. Hair texture. Number 1, coarse hair has the largest diameter. Number 2, medium hair is the most common and it is considered normal. Number 3, fine hair has the smallest diameter and it is more fragile. Now let's talk about density. Hair density measures the number of individual hair strands on 1 square inch. Hair porosity is the ability of the hair to absorb moisture. The degree of porosity is directly related to the condition of the cuticle layer. Low porosity is considered resistant. Chemical services performed on hair with low porosity require a more alkaline than those with high porosity. Average porosity is considered to be normal hair. High porosity hair is the result of hair that is overprocessed, making the hair more damaged, fragile, and brittle. Hair elasticity. Wet hair with normal elasticity will stretch up to 50% of its original length and return to the same length without breaking. If the hair breaks easily or fails to return back to its original length, it has low elasticity. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found the information helpful, don't forget to share, like, and please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for all of you guys that are showing me so much love. For those of you that are telling me that you are sharing and letting your classmates know about my channel because you find the information to be helpful, thank you so much. Don't forget to keep going, to keep growing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.